Puglia is situated at the heel of the Italian boot. So why is it very different to most of the other regions in Italy? For a start, the terrain is flatter than the rest of Italy, with a sun-soaked landscape making it a productive agricultural region with an iron-rich soil ideal for growing fruit and vegetables. And because Puglia is relatively unknown to foreigners, it is largely unexplored by masses of tourists, and so the region is a hidden gem. In this video, you will discover 22 interesting, helpful and fun facts about Puglia in Italy to help you in your search for la dolce vita, or simply to highlight what you're missing out on by not visiting this beautiful region of the country. And to highlight how different Puglia is, wait until you discover what the 22nd fun fact is. Number 1. Geography. The geographical area of Puglia is over 19,000 square kilometres. Number 2. Where is Puglia situated? The southern region of Puglia is situated at the heel of Italy, with the regions of Lecce to the north, Campania to the northwest, and Basilicata to the west being its neighbours. The Adriatic Sea is on its east coast, with the Ionian Sea on its southern shores. Puglia is the most eastern point of Italy. Number 3. The Provinces of Puglia. There are 6 provinces in Puglia, being 1. Bari, which is home to the capital city of the same name of the region. 2. Barletta-Andria-Trani, which are the 3 main towns of the province. 3. Brindisi, known as the gateway to the east. Its city is an important seaport. 4. Foggia, famous for its tomatoes and watermelons. 5. Lecce, known for its historical buildings and architecture. And 6. Taranto, known for its large population of dolphins. Number 4. The capital city of Puglia. Bari is the capital of Puglia. The city is situated on the east coast with a traditional harbour nearby some of Italy's best beaches. The Auditorium Nino Rota is situated on the waterfront and is named after the Italian composer who wrote many film scores, including La Dolce Vita and the Godfather film soundtrack. He lived in Bari for nearly 30 years. Number 5. How do you pronounce Puglia? Puglia is pronounced by Italians as Puglia, whilst its English spoken name is often referred to as Apulia. Number 6. The population. With a population of about 4 million and being the 8th most populated region of Italy, people are collectively known as Pugliese, singular, or Pugliesi, plural. Number 7. The history of Puglia. Puglia has a strong Greek background, having been originally colonised by Mycenaean Greeks. As a consequence, a local dialect called Greco, based on the Greek language, spoken in the region, especially in and around Lecce. The town of Ignazia is home to many archaeological ruins and has a museum containing artifacts from the graves of Greek people. In addition, the city of Lecce is known as Florence of the South, as it is full of historical buildings, including Roman-built castles and a Roman amphitheatre. French, Normans, Greeks, Romans and Turks have all fought for Puglia down the years, with one notable event that took place in 216 BC at the city of Culinary, where one of the worst Roman defeats of all time took place when the Roman army was heavily beaten by the army of General Hannibal. The famous Roman road, the Appian Way, ends in Brindisi. Number 8. National Parks. This is a paradise for nature lovers. The peninsula includes 3 main areas for nature lovers, being 1. The Gargano National Park, Parco Nazionale del Gargano. 2. The Umbra Forest, Foresta Umbra. And 3. The Tremiti Islands. Here you will find everything from caves to medieval towns and villages, from lakes to glorious beaches, and from hiking tracks to protected wildlife. As well as olive tree groves, there are plenty of lemon trees too. Number 9. Orchids. More species of orchid are grown in Puglia than anywhere else in Europe, with many unknown varieties. Number 10. The climate. Summer is hot, spring and autumn are pleasant, and winter is mild, although temperatures can drop to just above freezing. Number 11. Olive oil. Puglia is famous for olive oil, and the region accounts for more than half of Italy's olive oil production, equating to about 300,000 tonnes a year. It's reckoned that there are over 50 million olive trees in Puglia, some of them being hundreds of years old. Such is the value placed on olive oil production, the region has had to impose laws to deter people from literally digging up and stealing olive trees. With such a lot going for the region and more people wanting to visit, work and live here, quickly check out the ongoing collection of news, reports, resources and courses on this channel that will make your introduction to expat life in Italy and the dolce vita even sweeter. It's so easy. Just click on the subscribe button below and then click the grey bell icon to ensure you don't miss out on future videos being uploaded. Plus, watch this video to the very end where you'll get access to a special report packed full of helpful ideas for when you visit or consider living in Italy. And now for 11 more interesting, helpful and fun facts about Puglia. Number 12. Airports. There are two international airports in Puglia, being the Wojtyła Airport, named after Pope John Paul II at Bari, and the airport of Salento at Brindisi. Number 13. The coast. Puglia, with a coastline that runs for about 800 kilometres, 500 miles, is the longest coastline of any Italian mainland region. As a consequence, and because of its flat terrain, Puglia has some of the best sandy beaches in Italy. With crystal clear waters along the Adriatic and the Ionian coasts and a warm climate, the beaches are a big attraction. Puglia boasts 10 blue flag beaches, signifying that the beaches meet high quality environmental and cleanliness standards. Number 14. The Trulli. Referred to individually as a trullo, the distinctive trulli buildings of the region date back to Puglia's rich farming heritage as far as the Middle Ages. These white iconic cone-shaped roofed houses are found predominantly in the Etria Valley. The town of Alberobello has been a designated UNESCO site since 1996, where its streets have been lined with trulli. There are about 1,500 in the town since the 16th century BC. The roofs are built with corbelled limestone slabs, which came from stones that the peasants cleared from their rocky fields. Today, many trulli have been lovingly restored, renovated and refurbished for modern day living and are very popular as holiday homes. Number 15. The home of Father Christmas. Far away from the snow-themed image of Father Christmas, the city of Bari is home to the bones and relics of St. Nicholas himself, Santa Claus or Father Christmas. You can visit the tomb in the crypt of the Basilica di San Nicola in Bari. Number 16. Places to see in Puglia. There are a number of places worth visiting and experiencing, including 1. Gargano. With the south of Italy referred to as the heel, the Gargano Peninsula is known as the Spur. Gargano is full of quaint fishing villages, inland forests such as the National Park, the Foresta Umbra, sandy beaches and rugged cliffs full of caves and coves. The medieval village of Vieste is worth a visit with its narrow streets, whitewashed houses an imposing 13th century castle. The Mattinata beach in the coastal area of Baia del Zagari is said to be the most beautiful beach in the area. 2. Salento. This is the southernmost part of Puglia and is very much influenced by its Greek past. Italy's best beaches such as Porto Cesario, Pescaluzzi Beach, known as the Maldives of Salento, and Torre La Pillo Beach are situated here. The villages of Otranto, Specchia and Pasicci are regarded as three of the most beautiful in Italy. There is a protected marine area and wildlife reserve called Torre Guacato, which includes a stretch of coast of 6 kilometres. 3. Ostuni. The city of Ostuni is a beautiful maze-like white city on a hilltop, just 8 kilometres from the Adriatic Sea, packed with narrow streets and alleys and awesome views. The historic centre inside its ancient walls is home to traditional craft shops, cosy cafes and aperitivo bars and lovely restaurants to experience a perfect Apulian dinner. Then wash it down with a drink in one of the trendy bars where you can enjoy the lively Italian nightlife in an international environment. Situated in the province of Brindisi, Ostuni is called the White City because of the low houses and narrow streets characterised by limestone rocks. A number of ancient countryside farmhouses called masserias are a feature here. Many were left to fall into disrepair but have now been restored and renovated to become rental properties. 4. Brindisi. The port of Brindisi is a UNESCO heritage site and is the United Nations logistics base used for peacekeeping operations. The waterfront has many restaurants serving local fish and fresh food. The old town is referred to as Brindisi for its laid-back lifestyle. 5. Bari. The capital of the region, its old town is called Bari Vecchia and is a walled city built on a peninsula that juts out into the sea. This is where you're likely to see local women sit at tables each morning making orecchietti pasta. The local focaccia, a flatbread snack of this area filled with olives, roasted cherry tomatoes and a generous soaking of olive oil, is worth a treat. Bari is also a university city. 6. Polignano a Mare. This is one of Puglia's most picturesque seaside towns and an important ancient settlement in the region. Built on the edge of a craggy ravine with many caves, visit Grotta Palazzesi, a luxury restaurant with a view over the stunning turquoise sea. 7. Lecce. As one of Puglia's largest cities, it is referred to as the Florence of the South. It is well known for its Baroque architecture, with the construction of buildings in the old town using material called Lecce stone or pietra leccese. And to add to the city's popularity, its streets are alive with a vibrant cafe culture. The pasticciotto, a typical cake of Lecce, and caffè in ghiaccio con latte di mandorla, iced coffee with almond syrup, are perfect for watching the world go by from one of the cafes. 8. Otranto. Otranto is very strategic to Italy, being its easternmost town facing the Balkans and Greece. The town is dominated by its castle and towers, and surrounded by thick perimeter walls that shelter a small port with seafront promenades for the mouth-watering fish restaurant. The Alamini Beach, a marine protected area of white sand dunes, is situated nearby. The historic port was, at one time, more important than the nearby port of Brindisi. Otranto is very popular with Italian tourists looking for sun, sea and a bit of sightseeing and nightlife. Its other claim to fame is that Otranto was known for its horse breeding. 9. Castel del Monte. This World Heritage Site in Andria is one of the world's only 8-sided castles. The castle has a history to match the architecture and spectacular views over the surrounding coastline. 10. Monopoli and Castellana Caves. Monopoli is a small ancient town that has 19 medieval churches and lots of cobblestone alleys. Nearby, just a few kilometres away, is Grotta di Castellana, a site of amazing rock formations including impressive stalactites. 11. The Tremiti Islands. The 5 tiny islands of San Domino, San Nicola, Capraia, Portaccio and Pianosa comprise the Tremitis, a small archipelago of beauty in the Adriatic Sea. The islands are a very popular diving destination. 12. Santa Maria de Leuca. This is a well-known seaside resort in the southernmost part in Salento, with a spectacular coastline of jagged white rocks and natural caves, and a beautiful white lighthouse overlooking the bay. 13. Gallipoli. This is another seaside town situated along the coast of Salento. Its unique feature is that it is divided into 2 areas: the old town, built on a limestone island, and a new village, connected to the island by a bridge. 14. Ravina di Puglia. This is a town situated near the city of Bari in the Alta Murgia National Park area. The gravine are limestone rocks shaped by the erosion of rivers and streams that have helped carve out natural caves that have served many populations over the years, either for living or for defending against intruders. 15. Just off the coastline between Casalabate Torre Ronaldo, just 50 metres from the beach, is a World War II Navy vessel shipwreck sunk by the British Navy in 1941. It's close enough to the surface that it just requires some snorkeling gear to explore the wreck. Number 17. Music and the arts. 3 interesting facts to note. 1. The silent film star Rudolph Valentino was from Puglia. 2. The musicians and composers Matteo Salvatore, Umberto Giordano and Tito Skipper came from Puglia. And 3. Puglia is famous for its annual celebration of a pizzica, the Italian folk music. Number 18. The cost of living in Puglia. Generally, the cost of living in Puglia is less, sometimes a lot less, than other regions, especially those in the north of Italy. It appears that one can live fairly comfortably on about €1,500 per month to cover rent, food, utilities and the cost of running a car, but that could change. Puglia has been unspoilt by mass tourism and is the main reason why the cost of living here is low. What the long-term effects of the impact of the lockdown restrictions in Italy will be remains to be seen. So what was previously a reasonably reliable indicator of the cost of living expense to share may well be inappropriate now. Italy is one of those countries that relies on tourism to help drive its economy, and so it may be years before the tourism industry gets back to the pre-lockdown levels. Does this mean that, for example, in the local bars and restaurants, you can still enjoy a 3-course meal with local wine for about €20? Who knows? It could be less, or it could be more. Whatever you do, ensure you undertake your due diligence thoroughly if you're looking to live in Puglia. To give you a better and very much an up-to-date commentary on the cost of living in Puglia, I suggest you follow a blogger or vlogger who writes and uploads videos extensively from Puglia. Number 19. Buying property in Puglia. You always have the option of buying a property instead of renting on a long-term basis, depending on your life plans and personal circumstances. However, buying property in Puglia can lead to some special properties at very reasonable prices. Again, with the many changes going on in the world, the property market in Italy is directly impacted, and there may well be bargains to be had as many people look to sell their properties. One simple rule of thumb to determine if the price of property in Puglia is comparable with your existing property in your homeland is to work out the value per square metre, as you will see this metric used all the time in the Italian property market. Following an expat living in Puglia via social media is a great way to gauge what's going on in the region and for obtaining an insight to the local property market. If you're one of those people who have an enduring desire to spend more time in Italy, please leave a comment in the description box below, stating what your 3 absolute must-haves are to realise your dreams. Number 20. The food. To say that food is important in Puglia is an understatement, and to show how authentic Puglia is, when McDonald's opened up a restaurant in Puglia, the locals refused to visit the chain, resulting in the McDonald's restaurant closing down. So, with that in mind, here are some more convincing reasons why food is important to Puglia and its citizens. 1. Puglia is sometimes referred to as the breadbasket of Italy. This is due to the region's large production of pasta and bread, and can be traced back to Mussolini's political influence and rule over Italy after the First World War. Bread is so important to daily life in Puglia that in the remote villages there still exists communal wood-burning ovens that are still used by the locals to make bread. And Altamura in the west of Puglia was the first town in Europe to be granted DOP classification, denomination of origin of production, for its bread. 2. Many unique Italian foods originate from Puglia, including burrata cheese, orecchietti pasta and tiella, the Italian version of Spanish paella. 3. With Puglia being responsible for over half of all olive oil produced in Italy, it's not surprising this is a staple part of their Mediterranean diet. 4. Comprising of high-fat, low-carbohydrates and a high content of dietary fibre, antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds, it's not surprising that the food and dishes of Puglia are responsible for arguably the healthiest diet in the world. The sun and mineral-rich soil means there is always plenty of almonds, artichokes, aubergines, chilies, citrus fruits, courgettes, durum wheat, fava beans, fennel, figs, onions, peppers, and even tomatoes. With the region being mainly agricultural, many locals continue to grow their own food and live off the land. 5. The fishing industry is very active in Puglia as well, and seafood plays an important part in the local diet here. Anchovies, which are great for omega-3 fatty acids, cuttlefish, mussels, red mullet, sea bream and sea bass are eaten. 6. The pasta of Puglia is orecchietti pasta, which are small ear-shaped shells made by hand by the women often seen sitting at a table outside of their homes. The pasta is made with water, salt and durum wheat flour. There are no eggs used. 7. Other local specialities include 1. Caciocavallo, a type of curd cheese made out of sheep's or cow's milk, great for using on bruschetta. 2. Cartellati, a fried rose-shaped pastry flavoured with honey or vincotto, sometimes topped with shaved almonds or hazelnuts. 3. Focaccia, a flat oven-baked Italian bread similar in style and texture to pizza. The Apulian version is usually baked with whole cherry tomatoes. 4. Panzerotto, a savoury turnover with a tomato and mozzarella filling. 5. Pasticcioti, a custard-filled pastry eaten as a breakfast snack. 6. Petole, a savoury snack of fried bread yeast dough, often containing a boiled potato, making the donut soft and then served with a pinch of salt or grated cheese or tomato sauce. A sweet version is also very popular at Christmas time, with the dough balls sprinkled with sugar and dipped in vincotto, a sweet concentrated grape juice. 7. Rosticceria. In the town of Cisternino is a tradition performed by rosticceria butchers where you choose a cut of meat you want and watch the butcher cook it on a charcoal grill or in a wood-burning stove. You then wash it down with a locally produced wine. 8. Taralli and Scaldatelli. These are small taralli and large Scaldatelli crispy bread dough rings with olive oil. Number 21. The wine. Surprisingly to most people, Puglia is one of the largest winemaking regions of Italy. The region is blessed with a warm climate, fertile soil and cool breezes from the coastline to help keep vineyard temperatures at a moderate level. More red wines than white wines are produced in Puglia, with the red grape varieties of Bombino Nero, Negromaro and Primitivo mainly used. The two most popular red wines are the Primitivo and the Salici Salentino. Bombino Nero grape is used for making rosé wine, whilst white wine is produced from the Verdeca grape. And finally, number 22. Dolphins rule the waves. Off the coast of the Ionian Sea, near the coastal town of Taranto, you can become a researcher for a day with the Ionian Dolphin Conservation and watch the dolphins and sperm whales in their natural habitat. So there you have it, 22 interesting, helpful and fun facts about the Puglia region in Italy that I hope you found to be of help and of interest. If you're serious about visiting or working and living in Puglia, I highly recommend that you download and read your special guide entitled You Can Start a Brand New Life in Italy. Just click on the URL link in the description box below this video. Kindly leave a positive comment in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe and then click the grey bell icon to join an exclusive club of subscribers to be notified of all future videos being uploaded. And then please share with friends and enjoy. Until next time, ciao for now.